Welcome. This is BPM RIA, Broward Palm Beach, Miami Real Estate Investors Association. My name is Alexa, Operations Manager here at the BPM RIA office, and we are going to get into our webinar today with Carl Fisher, founder of Camaplan. It is time, TikTok, it is time to open your self-directed IRA, and we're going to tell you how and why and when and all the details today. So put your seatbelts on. We do have a raffle today. Somebody in this webinar
Alex,
will be
what
winning.
happened?
Oh, can you hear me? Carl, you good?
I am. We just tested out there for some reason. I'm not sure what happened, but
Oh, it's probably because I'm on my screen share. So as soon as I deactivate, we'll get you back in there. So
okay, good.
as long as you can see the chat and the people, you're good, because I have control right now. I took over. So guys, if you'd like a chance to win our raffle today, all you have to do is text the word membership to our event line 954-800-6961. And even those with a current membership are eligible to win this raffle. So go ahead and text that word to our event line. It's over in the chat box. I'll be putting it in there throughout the webinar so that you guys can remember to opt into the raffle. So good luck, everyone. Upcoming events. Guys, please take note of the calendar right now. We have a lot going on, and we do have some in-person events coming up around the corner. So take a screenshot, go to the link in the chat, go to the website. We have some incredible online and in-person events coming up. So as you can see, we have Ring of Facts coming back in this week. We have DPI Fund coming in next week. So looking forward to seeing you guys in those too. Of course, raffles and good things will be happening in those. And then as you can see here, I did add a member benefits webinar to the calendar. So anyone who has a membership right now, I hope to see you guys there. And then anyone who is considering getting a membership to the RIA, I look forward to seeing you guys there as well. I will be running this webinar all by myself. And so we're going to get into as much as we possibly can, how to get your free tickets for our networking meetings, how to get your guest tickets, how to get all of your national RIA benefits, Camaplan, equity trust, so many vendors, guys, that we know now through the national RIA. And so let's go ahead and unlock those benefits so you guys can start saving and having those savings pay for your membership. Let's do it. So spend the morning with me next week, and I'm going to tell you guys how you can be saving money and utilizing your membership with BPM RIA, because you get a ton of benefits through the national RIA since we are approved. And so that brings me to our next in-person networking meeting. We will be having a presentation with Sharif Medawar to finish that off. So if you're looking to network with local vendors, such as Carl, Kevin Thatcher, Francisco Mago, all of our amazing local vendors that we have in our backyard, then I highly recommend you attend the in-person networking meeting coming up on Wednesday, April 5th from 5:30 to 8:30. We will do an hour and a half of networking and an hour and a half of learning. It's going to be a fun-filled night. No dinner, but I will have coffee, tea, water, snacks for you guys. And I just look forward to meeting you all in person if I haven't already. And all of those that love the networking meetings, thank you, because these meetings are what they are because you guys show up and you get down to business, which makes me so happy. So we will be talking about how to solve your capital challenges and make better deals in the presentation, and that networking portion going to be lots of fun. I'm really excited to meet you guys. Members, you do get in free for this meeting. So if you don't know how to RSVP for your free tickets and get your discounted guest tickets, I look forward to seeing you in this membership benefits webinar, so we can get you all ready and equipped for networking, so you can get to rocking and rolling over with the vendors. and all of our amazing members. And then of course, we do have early bird for $15 and at the door for $20. So excited to see you guys there and excited to get you guys ready to go beforehand, not waiting to the last minute because we are prepared people in this webinar. So looking forward to seeing you guys. And then we do have another in-person workshop. I didn't add the location in here, but if you go to the website, you will see the locations for both of these. This will be in Broward County. So go ahead and RSVP. It is a free workshop. This is sponsored by Concierge Title on our website. Again, another local vendor that you will get to meet at the in-person networking meeting. So we love that. And looking forward to seeing you guys if you'd like to learn about wholesaling. It's going to be a newbies workshop. So looking forward to seeing you guys again there on Saturday. If you would like text updates for our events, it's super easy. All you have to do is text the word BPM REIA, all one word, no spaces, again, to our event line. Do not call this number. Try not to text this number back with any questions because this is just for the raffles and for updates. So I'm not checking this line for you guys' questions. But you should all have my contact information. If not, you will have it by the end of this webinar. So just a heads up, and leave out these little quotation mark thingies. Just BPM REIA, all one word, no spaces, to our event line, and you will receive a text the morning of the event reminding you that we have an event, and you have the registration link in there and everything. Super easy, awesome, love it. Try to make you guys life as easy as possible. That's my job, so I hope that I can do that for you guys. Moving right along. Oh my gosh, my favorite topic, Quick Start Bootcamp. Here we go. I popped up a poll. It's coming around the corner, 2 full days on Zoom, cameras on, microphones on. We're getting into wholesaling. We're getting into flipping. We're getting into rehabbing. 4 incredible guest speakers, Francisco Mago, Jose Ramirez, Kevin Thatcher, Carl Shealy. Probably they will all be at the in-person networking meeting in April 5th at the Signature Grand. So again, like if you want to meet these people, we bring them to you. So come meet them, come see what we're talking about. I will go ahead and put the link in the chat for the Quick Start so you can get a little bit more details on who these speakers are and the topics that we get into. But I did pop this poll up because I am trying to get you guys as much information as you need so that you can sign up for this workshop or for this boot camp. It is a money back guarantee. It is going to be incredible. 2 full days with a niche. So if you want to maybe get a mentor, or if you are wanting to, start doing more deals and maybe bring your business from here to here, then I highly recommend you attend this boot camp, especially because it is a money back guarantee. So it is pretty much no brainer. As you can see below, we do have member pricing and non-member pricing. I did add a button recently on the Quick Start website. So if you'd like to get your membership and Quick Start ticket all in one, and forget the Quick Start at the member pricing, I have that option in there for you guys now as well. So thank you guys for responding to the poll. Half of you guys have responded to the poll. So the other half, I assume you guys are, driving or working or on another call or something, because you guys, there you go, a little bit more, thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. It does help me know who I need to follow up with so that I can get you the details that you need. And that really helps me understand who I need to follow up with. So thank you guys. Thank you. Awesome. So memberships, as you all know, the members do get all the goodies. They get the discounts to all of the workshops, such as the boot camp. They get in free for the in-person networking meetings. Their guests come in at half off for $10. So if you want these benefits, hopefully I can get you guys to make some decisions by my webinar next week, because I do want you guys to be prepared and ready to go for the in-person networking meeting and have what you need, such as your free tickets and your discounted tickets prior to the in-person networking, as well as the quick start. So if you have any questions, I will pop up a quick poll so you guys can let me know if you want a membership, if you don't want a membership, or if you already have a membership. Most of you do already have one, which is great, but I would love to still see you guys in my webinar next week so we can make sure that you guys are making the absolute most of your membership with BPM RIA as well as National RIA. So excited to do that with you guys next week. Yay. Awesome, awesome. Mentoring and coaching here at BPM RIA. A lot of you know that we do have a mentoring and coaching program. Some of you don't know. This is my direct line down the bottom, but I have to tell you that we have a link on our website right now for you to book a discovery call. This discovery call is with me. It is so that I can get you that brochure, the breakdown of everything we include in the mentoring and coaching program. There's a lot that's included in the program. We give our students absolutely everything they need to do deals. So it's going to be quite a long list. You guys will have questions. And so that's why I'm more than happy to schedule this 1 hour free consultation with a mentor while we're on that call. So I would love to speak with you guys. Go straight to the website. I will go ahead and put the link in the chat so that you can go book your discovery call with me. I can get you the brochures, try to answer some questions for you guys, but mostly I would love to connect you with our lead mentor, Anish, so that you can get your questions answered and see if our program is a good fit for you, and if it's going to get you to where you would like to be at in your real estate investing career. So excited to speak with you guys in the discovery calls. I have a couple today, but I know I have some time slots for tomorrow. So let me know how I can help. I'm more than happy to get you guys information, whether you join the programs or not. I'm more than happy to talk to you guys. So thank you guys so much for responding to the poll. I appreciate it. We're going to get rocking and rolling here. I promise. I just have to tell you guys what's going on behind the scenes, because that's where I live, behind the scenes. So thank you guys again so much for coming to this webinar, for being here. Thank you to National RIA. Thank you to Carl, to Camaplan, Anish, everyone, all of our mentors. I'm very appreciative of this group. I learned so much from you guys, and there's never a day that goes by that I'm not learning. So, and thank you guys so much for responding to the poll. Again, helps me know that you guys are not only awake, but you guys are paying attention and listening and engaging, which makes me so happy. So without further ado, I have Carl here with us. He is the wealth of information in this webinar today. So if you guys need to grab a notebook, an iPad, whatever you need to get the details down about this, because we want you guys to be working smarter, not harder. That's the goal for today. So you guys, a couple of housekeeping rules. Please put your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom menu. You'll see a box that says Q&A. Please put your questions in there. You can definitely engage with us in the chat if you have comments, anything like that. Want to respond to Carl, you can go ahead and throw that in the chat. But we don't want to miss any of your questions, so please put those in the Q&A box. And that's all for me. Thank you, Carl.
No problem. You covered a lot of information there, Alexa.
I try. I know.
And I can see you do have a little hoarseness left from the weekend.
I know.
Good luck
I promise.
to FAU. So one of the reasons I want people to open up their accounts today, especially if they don't have them, is because they can still make their contributions for 2022. And especially if you're opening up a Roth, you'll have your IRA opened all the way back to January of 2022, which will help your seasoning for your account. So that's why I wanted to do this before April 15th. After April, actually this year, April 18th, you won't be able to do that anymore. So let's get started with what we're going to talk about today. And Camera Plan doesn't provide any investment advice or endorsements. People in National RIA, we ask them to look at the information that you're providing and the things you just covered, the webinars, the face-to-face meetings, the live meetings, all the vendors, because you can build your team. And all information that we're going to be talking about today are provided for educational purposes only. All parties are encouraged to consult with their attorneys, accountants, and financial advisors before entering into any type of investments. And I just think that that's good. And do your due diligence on Camera Plan. We've got a due diligence page on our website to make it easy for you to do research on us. I'll give you a little bit about me. Obviously, I'm one of the founders of Camera Plan. My sister is the other. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, after my mom and dad moved from New Jersey when I was 2. I went off to New York and did engineering work and went to Cape Canaveral Kennedy Space Center after college and launched rockets there, was doing the R&D, research and development on the shuttle program, and then worked for the Titan and commercial Titan. In 2004, manned space flight was shipping over to the Russians. I got out of business launching rockets and started Camera Plan. I've been a real estate investor. My mom and dad were real estate investors, and their mom and dads were in real estate. So I still own rental property today, probably will have it and pass it on to my next generation. I didn't like paying taxes. I felt like the more I made, the more they took. So I found ways around paying taxes and instead increased my net worth. I've been married for actually 42 years, and I've got 4 boys, and we just had another grandchild. So I have 7 grandkids 6 weeks ago. So that's my background. You can look more on LinkedIn and probably Facebook and all the other social media if you want to do more research on myself. I am biased, and I'll tell you that right off the top. I like tax-free, and I like real estate and notes. I'm not good in the stock market. If you're good in the stock market, that's great, but I don't like it. I don't really understand it. So when I'm talking today, you'll see me gravitate to tax-free real estate or notes associated with things. I just want to tell you that up front. What we're going to talk about today is the types of money and types of accounts really make a difference in how you can build your wealth. One of the other questions I was asked to answer is, where do you find the money in this new economy? We've had low interest rates ever since 2008 up until a couple of years ago, right after the pandemic. So we'll discuss a little bit about that and what the pros and cons are. How do you jumpstart your IRA? How can you get a lot of money in it in a short period of time? We'll touch on a few ways to do that. As I said, notes were a good thing. A lot of people are turning their IRA into many banks, and they're buying properties or they're lending money to people doing rehabs. And that's been quite lucrative, especially now that interest rates at the banks have gotten up to, in between 7% and 8%, and even higher on some investment properties. I'm going to go over plan contributions, how much you can put into the different IRAs and different plans, what limits are as far as income, and then some of the deadlines you have until that. And obviously the first deadline coming up at this point is the April 18th. Most of your 2022 contributions have to be in before that date. So think about getting that done here in the next couple of weeks. And then Anish asked me to talk about, is it still a good time to buy real estate? And we'll touch on that. And the answer is maybe and yes, depending on who you are and where you are. There's always deals to be made. So I'm going to ask the people listening here, where are you and why are you at this webinar and what are you trying to learn? One is reducing taxes, which we'll talk about. The second one is growing wealth and preserving wealth. And then there's probably some people here that are looking for money to do deals and individual loans or even do syndications and buy multifamily properties. We'll cover all of these things, but think about where you are and what you want to get from today's knowledge exchange here. And if you have any questions, just put them in the Q&A box and send them to Alexa, and she'll help us get to them. If it's better for us to answer them at the end, which we'll have time to do, or we'll do them as we're on the slides. So a self-directed IRA, it's like any other IRA that you have or would get into, except you can invest in a lot more assets. If you go to Merrill Lynch and Schwab or Vanguard, you're only going to be able to invest in stocks and bonds and money markets, most likely, anything that they sell. If you go with us, you'll be able to invest in anything the IRS doesn't prohibit, such as real estate, notes, mortgages, private placements, multifamily facilities, gold and silver. So that's the main difference. All the rules are exactly the same. All the contribution limits are the same. So it just gives you more diversity if you have a self-directed IRA and 401k. And I think everybody should have it, especially with the way the economy and the laws and the banks are changing things right now. That's one of the reasons I think people should open up the account, put a little bit of money in it to get it started, just in case you need it in the future. It doesn't cost much. So one of the things we talked about is what kind of money is there out there and how much do you want to use each type. The first type I call is earned income, or W-2s and 1099s. And it's pretty easy to get up to paying 50% in taxes, especially for real estate people and those that are making money, and even a little bit over that. In Social Security and Medicare, you're either paying, 7 3/4 or 15% if you have your own business. And then at the Fed level, most people are paying, it's making any money between 20 and 30% is the middle class. Obviously in Florida, we don't have a state tax, but my office is in Pennsylvania. And if you're up in the Northeast or out on the West Coast, you've got a lot of state taxes associated with it. California has a 10% state tax. So in this case, on your earned income, it's pretty average to be paying 40% of your money into taxes. So if you make 100,000, you'll be able to keep 60,000. So that's one of the reasons, my mom and dad and my grandparents were in real estate, because in passive income, rents, royalties, interest, dividends, capital gains, you pay less, right? Long-term capital gains, short-term capital gains have different rates, but you automatically don't pay the 15% that you would pay with Social Security or Medicare on your property. So if you said, hey, I'm not paying 40%, I'm only paying 25% because I take off the Social Security and Medicare, and you make $100,000, now you get to keep 75,000. And as you guys know, cash flow is what life is all about. That's what you need. Net worth is one thing, but cash flow is what makes your days easier. The third one is doing tax deferred income, right? Or traditional IRAs. Right now you pay zero tax and you get to keep your 100,000 if you make your 100,000 in your IRA. You get to keep that until you reach 73 years old. When you reach 73, you have to start pulling it out. And at that time, you start paying income tax on it when you withdraw it. And that can be federal as well as state. So you just need to pay attention to that. But, you know, if you're 40 years old, you basically have 33 years to use that money tax-free. So if you make that $100,000, you can invest that $100,000 in the next investment. Whereas if you made that $100,000 with the earned income, at most you'd be able to invest $60,000. So think about where you want your money, right? And the best plans you want, in my idea, I want to have passive income so that I can use that money to live on. And if I have to supplement it with earned income, I would do that to live on. But everything else I would put into my either traditional and most likely my Roth IRA, because if you put money in your Roth IRA and you make 100,000, you're never going to pay taxes on it, right? Because all the money that's in your Roth is earned tax-free because you pay the tax on it up front when you put it in there. You don't get a deduction. So I want you to think about your overall plan of building your Roth to use it and doing the earned income and passive income as a way to make money now and keep your taxes in the lower tax brackets while you're making your big money in your Roth, if that makes sense to people, you know. And, you know, if you're buying real estate as an example, you could buy it all outside of your Roth IRA, but every year you'd be making more and more and more money on it. Whereas if you, and paying more and more taxes, but if you put it into your Roth IRA, you'd never be paying taxes on it. And when you sell it, you won't be paying taxes on the capital gains like you would if it was outside your IRA. So if you buy, you know, 3 or 4 houses and they can provide you the income, or 3 or 4 properties and that can provide you the income, then every property you buy after that, put it into the tax-free Roth to build your legacy going forward. So I want people to think about these basic types of money and the difference between a traditional and Roth account, because this is how real wealth is made. Here's another way to kind of show that same example. If you put $16,000 in to your account, you get a 10% rate of return and you're in a 30% tax bracket. And obviously you can play with these things as time goes on, but because of the 16,000, you know, in 10 years would grow to 36,000 if it was untaxed, or 52,000 in a Roth. And then in 40 years, you've got 300,000 to $1 million. So just by opening up an account and doing deals in your Roth IRA, you can see how much faster it grows. And depending on what your rate of return is, it can make it higher if your rate of return is higher. And if your tax bracket is higher, you even get more savings. If it's lower, you don't see quite as much. But this is just 16,000. So it makes a real difference in your lifestyle and your income if you pay attention to these things. The other thing that they never taught me, right, and I went to the Ivy League college, is that your percent on your returns really make a difference in your lifestyle. In this example here, we take an initial investment of $100,000. We pick a tax bracket of 30%. And if you look in if you look over here in the taxable 5% or the IRA 5% at 10 years, you make a $20,000 difference basically. Right. And it isn't going to change your life that much. Whereas if you're making 15%, and it's in the taxable account, you're going to be making $271,000 over that 10 years, or $404,000 if you have it in the IRA. To me, that's a significant difference, and it'll make a significant difference in your life. And depending on your age, let's say you want to retire at 50 years old and you're 30 years old now, that 100,000 at 5% turns into these numbers, 198 or 265, right? $67,000 difference. But over here, that 100,000 is 736 to $1 million. So it's a big difference in your lifestyle if you think about it. In 20 years, do you want 265,000, or do you want 100, or do you want 1,600,000? And some of the things about joining BP RE is there's people that are making, way better than 15%. But if you're in real estate, you should be making at least 15% when you add up the profit centers. Tax liens in Florida, you can make up to 18% on them. So people always say, where can you get 15% returns? Real estate is one of them. Tax liens is another. And if you go to some of the mentors in the BP RIA, they're killing it. And they make 15% look easy. The other one is people say, well, how can you have that much money in your IRA? Well, the answer is it's not only contributions that grow your IRA. That's money you put in from your job, from your W-2 income, but it's also the earnings that keep making that money, right? If you're making 15% on that 100,000 or the $1 million, right? That's 150,000 a year just in earnings. And contributions have limits, earnings do not. So you can make as much as you want. And if you don't believe that, read about Peter Thiel's IRA or Mitt Romney's IRA. This is what the smart people are doing. When I'm talking about accounts, and there's differences, there's tax deferred accounts, which is on the left-hand side, and tax-free accounts on the right-hand side. On the health savings account, it's highlighted because you get a tax deferral for putting money into it. And if you use it for medical reasons, it comes out tax-free. And that's the only asset I know that's like that. Tax deferred going in and tax-free coming out. So you get a double whammy on that. So anybody who's paying your own health insurance should have a health savings plan, I think, and look at the pros and cons of that, especially if you're young and healthy. And these are the plans that you can self-direct. So let me just go quickly and talk about a Roth versus a traditional. But self-direction is for both of them. But I told you up front, I'm tax-free biased, right? So let's say from your job or your 1099, you make $100,000. If you make a $6,000 contribution to a traditional IRA, you're only going to be taxed on $94,000 of that income. If you make a $6,000 contribution to the Roth IRA, you're going to be taxed on $100,000 of that. So tax savings is going to be $1,500 to $2,000 with the traditional IRA, based on those, at the 20 to 30% tax bracket. But now let's look at it, right? Distributions. right? Both accounts, traditional and Roth, let's say over 20 or 30 years, you made that into $1 million, like our previous example, you had it at 15% or 10% made $1 million. The traditional is going to be taxed at present rates, right? So it's going to be approximately 250 to 350,000, depending on how much you pull out 1 year, right? And if it's $1 million, your Roth is going to be not taxed at all. So you have that $1 million. So at that point, you know, you have to think about which account do you want. I think it's good to have both because it gives you a little bit more capability. If tax rates go down, you can take money out of your traditional account. And if tax rates go up, you can take more out of your Roth and less out of your traditional account and kind of mix and match to have your best tax rate. And for most of you, you have to understand that taxes is your largest expense, even after your house, etc. And as I said before, HSA has benefits for both sides. If you put $6,000 in your HSA, you're going to get taxed on $94,000. And if it's worth $1 million and you spend that on medical expenses, it's all going to come out tax-free. Right, the Roth IRA, you pay taxes now, not later. I like to use the analogy, you want to pay tax on the seeds and not the crops. You don't have to worry about future tax rates, so that comes out of the equation. Required minimum distributions aren't required for a Roth IRA. There are some limitations. Those have gone up a little bit this year. 120,000 if you're single, 176 if you're married. The estate planning tool, it's used for that, and 5-year seasoning. If you open your account now, right now, and put a contribution in for 2022, your IRA will be open already for 1.25 years. So think about that. The Secure Act did change that income limitations, and you may not be able to convert in 2029. All right, one of the other questions that we've had and that we're going to talk about, where's the money today, right? Banks in most cases still have the money, and it looks like they're figuring out ways to backstop it. But mortgages and equity lines are still out there, especially for the bigger banks. The smaller banks are still doing them, but I think everybody's heard of Republic Bank and Silicon Valley Bank ran into some potential hazards and were closed by the FDIC and or sold to other banks. So just think about that. Self-directed accounts are still out there, and you heard me touch on making your IRA into a mini bank. Especially being a member of BPMREIA, you find people that are buying real estate that you can lend money to, and you're finding people that are rehabbing properties that the banks won't touch, so you can even charge more money for some of those loans, and people are willing to pay it because they can't get it done without it. But you know, let's say it takes them 6 months to do a rehab and they charge 12% and 3 points. At that point, they can refinance out of it, and you know, at the end of 6 or 9 months, and only be paying that interest to you for those 9 months. So think about that in this environment, because it's going to be more and more prevalent as the banks get tougher and tougher to deal with. And I think they're going to get tougher and tougher to deal with before they get easier. And what are the rates doing? The rates are continuing to go up. I have a mortgage on one place that was $100 18 months ago a month. It's an equity line, and now it's $450. So it went up $350 on that amount. So what did I do? I raised the rent $400 just in case inflation keeps going up there. The other place money is in people's discretionary funds. A lot of people put them in savings accounts and checking accounts when COVID was going on, because the money they were making, they couldn't go spend it anywhere. So they had that money there, but now inflation is hitting those hard. The credit card interest rates are going up. So people are losing those discretionary funds. They're being dwindled away on inflation and credit cards having higher interest rates. That used to be the craze back after 2008 and 9, where people were taking 0% credit cards and borrowing money and then fixing up places. I did it myself in several instances, but that's no longer the case. I haven't seen any 0% credit cards out there actually in years. And even when I did see them, they would charge a transfer fee with them. You know, the last ones that I saw, 3 to 7% transfer fee. Then the other one that's out there, government grants and the SBA. The problem with those that we've seen are they take a long time to get and a lot of paperwork to fill out. And in the case of the SBA, they even charge an application fee that is non-refundable. So in my opinion, the self-directed accounts at this point in time, and we see it happening more and more, people are borrowing from them because it's easier and faster, and they can close deals and they can join with other qualified investors in picking up properties or lending money on properties. So I hope this helps people figure out where the money is today. And we'll talk a little bit more as we go on different ways to buy it, such as subject to or assuming mortgages. So how does self-direction work for investors? Right? Basically, why it works for them is everybody likes tax-free income if you can get it, in your Roth IRA, or tax-deferred income in your traditional IRA. It's tangible assets. You can see it, you can touch it, you can insure it, and you can finance it. Like Silicon Valley Bank, all those investors lost their money, not the depositors, but the investors in the bank lost their money, and their stock was up one day and not worth anything the next. When you're doing a self-directed one, you have access to the managers, right? Who are the managers? The owners of the properties, right? You have more control, it's less expensive, and it's true diversity. It's not diversity in the stock market as we saw on Monday. Almost everything was down. Today, most things are up. So you have real diversity in other assets, gold, real estate, notes, all of those types of investments. How it works for investors. One is you open up a self-directed IRA. Okay, and what I'd like for you guys to do, and I'll make this a deal today, if you go to BPM RIA's website and you open your account from the link there to Gamma Plan, we'll only charge $1 where it's either $50 or $75 generally to open up a self-directed IRA account. So use the BPM RIA website for your link to open up your account. If you have a problem with it or you can't get through it, call the office and we'll make sure that happens for you. Right, but once you have your account open, you can do it all online. Then you want to fund your account. You can fund your account 3 ways. One is you can transfer money from another IRA. 2, you can roll over money from a 401k. But what I want you to concentrate on now is make your 2022 contribution, because in a couple of weeks, you're not going to be able to do that. So think about that. And you know, get a few $1,000s into your account so it's up and running and ready to work. Once your account's open and your money's there, figure out what you're going to buy. Do your due diligence on it. Complete your paperwork, send it in to us. Tell us it's ready to go and you like all the terms. And we'll sign the documents and send the funds. And then you'll have an online portal that you'll go on and you'll look at your account. If it's a note, then it'll say it's a note on this property and you'll see your payments coming in. If it's real estate and you have a rental agreement, you'll see your payments coming in online. Your tenants will be paying the rent right to your IRA account. No work for you except to go online and see that it was paid. So that's how it works for most of the investors and why they like it. And I talked a little bit about, hey, what are you going to do if you want to buy a multifamily facility in the 30 to $70 million range? There's a lot of people that are out there that are doing syndications for that. We have them on our website where they're talking about that. I'm sure Anish and BPM RIA has people that come all the time. Anthony Chara was there last year. I saw him. He's got the same things. But we'll help you if you want to do a syndication. We'll help you talk to people and show you what kind of investments they can put into your syndication. So give us a call on this one if you're thinking of being an asset provider or syndicator. Ways to jumpstart your IRA, right? People say, well, if I can only put $6,000 into my IRA, how am I going to buy something? Well, you can put $6,000 in for 2022 this year, and you can put, and I'll cover this a little bit later, and you can put $6,500 into it for 2023. So that jumps you up to $12,500. Now, if you have a business, you can put in a SEP IRA, you can put up to another $66,000 into it. So there are ways to put more money into it. You just have to look at it, and there's ways to put more plans together. I saw one gentleman open up accounts for his 7 kids and his wife and his mother and father, and then they all went in together and bought a property. But let's say you don't have that capability, you're on your own, and you put $6,000 into your IRA. Now you go out there and think about it. Foreclosures are coming up, right? There's more foreclosures on the books, have increased over the last 6 months nationally. But let's say there's a person that's out there and can't make his payments anymore because he had a adjustable rate mortgage and the rates have gone up. So you could buy that, you could tell him, I'll take over payments, I'll give you $1,000 and I'll take over payments and I'll have that subject to mortgage. Okay. And then your IRA would be into that deal. It could own a, $253,000 or $400,000. As long as the rent can cover the payment, you'd be good to go. The other side to look at these subject twos, mortgages. And I hope everybody understands it. If you don't know what a subject to mortgage is, it's basically you're taking over the mortgage that someone else already has on the bank. It's not, you're not assuming it. The people still have all the recourse against them, but you're going to pay their mortgage when you buy this house because they no longer can. So what happens if you get a subject to mortgage at 3%? That's even going to be better for you. If you can get one that's a few years old that was down at that rate. So that's a great way to get into a property with very little money. You can wholesale direct, or you can wholesale a note out, right? And Donna Bauer talks a lot about that. So let's say you have your $6,000 in your IRA and you sign a contract on a house, that you can sell for $350,000, but you sign a contract on it for $300,000 because of your connections and what you learn at the RIA groups. And you put your $5,000 down on this note. Now what you can do is you can sell half of that note for $300,000 if you had to close, or you just go sell the note for the $350,000, right? Thus making your IRA $50,000 more with a $5,000 deposit. So you sell the note for $350,000, and which is a fair market value, or let's say you sell it for $340,000 or even $330,000, $20,000 under market, so you could sell it pretty quickly, right? To one of those people that say, I have cash and I can close quickly. At that point in time, you make $30,000 for the assignment of the note on your $5,000. So your IRA goes from, 6,000 to 31,000 on one deal. And then the other one is if you bought that property and you had a seller financing of the note at 300,000 on that property, with very little money down, now you could sell that note as well. Or your IRA could hold the note at a different point in time and make interest on that. So there's options out there, whereas you can put a little money down, you can put an option on the house to buy it. And if somebody takes you up on the option, then you sell it for that amount of money. And if you don't, you lose your deposit. So we can go over more and more of these ways to jumpstart your IRA, but I want to leave some time for questions on people and what they want to do. Plus, I think you can get a lot of education on these different ways to purchase property, right? There's a lot of people leasing property. I just had one of these deals go by where you lease your house at what you normally would lease it out for long-term rentals to an Airbnb company, and they then rent the money. They then rent it to the Airbnb. They take care of all the maintenance, and they get the difference from the leased property to the income from the Airbnb. So they're subleasing it to Airbnb clients. And that's another way that I've seen deals go down. where your IRA could lease the property and then have the Airbnb people basically paying it. So we'll talk about that. This right here is 20 ways your IRA can fund real estate investments. And I'm not going to go through all of these. Basically, if you go to our website, you can download this for free, and it goes into more and more of the each of the points, right? You can co-invest with non-IRA money. You can wholesale contract, which we talked about. You can secure a loan from an individual. You can secure a loan from somebody else's IRA. Your IRA can do that, or you personally can do that. You can secure a loan from one of your friends' IRAs. You can, get him to invest in his IRA, and then he can work with you through his IRA, thus making his returns better because he doesn't have to pay taxes on it. So download this free from our website. And if you have any questions on it, get a phone consultation set up with somebody in the office. And if they don't answer your questions to your liking, just ask them, hey, can you set up a meeting with Carl, and I'll sit down and go over each one of these. And I'll be at the next in live meeting at BPM RIA. So what I'd like to do now is just kind of go over, if you look at the top here, 2022 is last year's contributions. 2023 is this year's contributions. They've gone up a little bit in 2023 because of inflation. 2022 regular limit is 6,000. If you're over 50, you can put in an extra 100,000. If you're making 109,000 to 129,000, and you're married, that may be phased out. You have to look at that and see it. You may not get the deduction, but even if you don't get the deduction, you can still put the money in, and it just won't be a deduction on your taxes. So that's why I would tell you to open up a Roth IRA if you're in some of those situations. Regular limit 6,000, same thing. You guys can download this. Hopefully Alexa will make this presentation part of this webinar notes, and we can get to that point. But this is a traditional IRA. This is the Roth IRAs. I suggest you look closely at doing a Roth IRA, especially this year. Coverdells are educational IRAs for kids or grandkids under 18. HSAs I talked about are the best deals out there. Health saving plans. You can put if you're doing single, it's 3,600. If you're doing a family, it's 7,300, and it's a deduction for the whole year, and you have again till April 18th. So go do those. Make an action item today to at least make a decision. Am I going to open up an account and make these contributions, or if I have an account open, am I going to make these contributions? Because you don't want to forget about it as time's running out. And these are 401ks, a simple IRA and a SEP IRA. These are more businesses. If you have a business that you're making income with, then you should definitely think about having one of these plans, because as you can see, the income contributions are much higher than in the personal accounts. So 20,000 in a 401k can be deferral. and then you can have 61,000 for 2022 and 66,000 for 2023. You want to build these as quickly and as fast as you can. So talk to your accountants or professionals and see if you really want to have these this year, because time's running out. And as a business, you can still have them for 2022. So download these forms or look them up on our website. We have these same charts on our website, camaplan.com. I hope this is making sense to people and it's ways to put money away. And by the way, all this money is asset protected. So if you do have creditors or you do get a lawsuit, they're not going to be able to take this money from you. All right, so coming up here on the end, is real estate still a good buy today? National averages show a decrease in value, especially if you're looking at places like California, San Francisco, Seattle. They're seeing a decrease in the value of their properties. However, I've been in real estate, over 40 years, and real estate isn't national, it's neighborhood or street by street. In the Florida areas, I think it's more neighborhood. But if you go to the cities like New York or Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Boston, it's street by street. 2 streets over can be a completely different comp than your property on a different street. So look at that when you're looking at this. Interest rates are up, so look for owner financing and look for subject twos, which we've talked about. If you can get a low interest rate subject to, right? And what would cause those types of things? Maybe a husband died, right? And he was the sole owner or the sole income earner, and the Social Security has now been decreased, and the wife or the husband can no longer afford the property. So and rate right as interest rates are up, so owner financing, if they can get out of it or they can sell it subject to and get some money out of it, it may be a good deal for people, right? And as many of your people will tell you, there's always deals. You have to look at them. There's foreclosures, and by the way, they're on the rise in every state because interest rates are out there, and adjustable rate mortgages and HELOCs are out there, and they've all gone up, and people are having a harder time making their payments, right? So look at foreclosures, look at probate, right? People are always dying, and heirs are living out of state, etc. And Florida is one of those states. Somebody called it the other day heaven's waiting room. So there's probably a lot of probate in Florida compared to other states, I would think. Tony Youngs is a speaker, and I think he may have been at the RIA where he's coming up, and he talks about the hidden treasures. He talks about how you find properties that aren't on the market, that may be distressed, and you can get good deals on because they're being neglected. So the answer to is real estate, is it still a good time to buy today? I think somewhere, yes, and most likely. Florida so far has been immune to the recession going on in many of the other states. The demand is still high in Florida. There's still a lot of people moving to Florida. Do I think you'll see property prices go down in the next couple of years? I do. I don't know about rents, but I do think property values will drop, especially if interest rates keep going up. And everything that goes up must come down. I don't think it'll be as bad as 2008 in losing value, but I do think that properties will go down. And you have people right in your RIA and mentors that are out there. Taryn is great, right? She shows you how to buy properties almost anywhere in the country. Harry just did a deal where he put a lot of money away in a 401k, I believe. Anish is doing deals all the time, and Antonio, is buying Airbnbs, and he travels to different countries around the world that he's familiar with and looks at it. So right in your own group, you have people that can help you, and there's more, right? These aren't the only 4. There's more out there that are doing deals, and they talk about it and they do the research and they learn. So it's still a good time to buy real estate if you're buying it right. All right, at this point, is there any questions out there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We got some good questions. A couple people are asking the same questions. The question that was most frequently asked in the Q&A today was the salary limits for the Roth IRA contribution. I had a couple people ask about that before you brought it up. So yeah, that was a common question in here.
Well, the other thing about the salary, right? If we go to the Roth IRA, let me go back 2 more. Right, they start getting phased out if you make 204,000 if you're married, and if you're single, you got to make 130,000. 144, you can't make a Roth contribution. So that's great, but to those people that are in that category, there's a backdoor Roth, which we can show them how to do. You can still make contributions to the Roth, to the traditional IRA, and then convert those to a Roth IRA, if that makes sense.
Yes, somebody also, Montrell, who asked that question, he did bring that up about the backdoor IRA. So I'm really happy to know that we have some people who are like in it right now. That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. What is the short-term capital gains taxes? What is
short-term capital gain taxes are they're just like ordinary income. They get added to your W-2 or 1099 income and are taxed at the same rate.
Can a company have a self-directed IRA, or does it have to be a personal name?
A company can. Let me go back to the last page of these, right? So if you have a company name, it would be, as an example, ABC Company for the benefit of Anish, or BPM RIA for the benefit of Anish. He would be a member. BP RIA 401k for the benefit of A Para, which would be you, right? And anybody else. So the company can have a 401k and each person would be a participant of that. Or if you have your own company as a solo practitioner, you could have your own company, and as long as it has income and have a 401k. If you have a simple IRA, that's also a company, which is the second one down here. And each employee, you can defer $14,000 of your income. And you can limitation on compensation is 305,000, and you have this. So you can put, up to 17,000 if you're over 50, and the company will put money into your simple account for employees. A lot of people will use this because it's pretty easy and you don't have to do a lot of calculations for it. Under the SEP program, you can defer or you can put 61,000 money into the SEP, and compensation is 105,000. Minimum compensation is 650, but there's laws for that. But each person in the company would have to have a SEP, and the employer puts the money in for them.
Got it. Well, that brings me to Vicky's other question. Vicky from the NRA conference that we met over there. She currently has a traditional IRA, wants to move to self-directed. The options on the website are Roth, SEP, simple, and traditional. What does she choose? Should she talk to somebody at Camaplan or?
Yeah, I mean, the question is, what's her account now? Is it a traditional or a Roth? Is
Traditional
it a SEP?
IRA.
It's a traditional IRA, so open up a traditional at Cama, and then we'll talk about doing a Roth conversion. She can definitely do that, or depending on her situation, she can open up a Roth and a traditional and bring her money over in the traditional, open up the Roth and make her contribution to the Roth this year and not convert yet. But yeah, if she wants, she can give me a call and I'll talk to her.
Awesome. I'll send you guys all a follow-up email today. And then we do have Camaplan's information on our website right now. You can see it there under vendor partners. Alrighty, so HSA account, can it be in husband and wife's name or two separate accounts?
It can be in a husband's or a wife's name, and it can be two separate accounts. And especially the way they wrote the rules, if you're over 55 and you want to get the extra contribution, you have to have two accounts. If you're under 55, you can do it all in one account.
Awesome. And what about?
And by the way, those HSAs can buy all the same things we talked about here. They can lend money, they can buy real estate, they can buy subject to, they can buy gold, buy into syndications of multifamily, etc.
Awesome. And what about solo 401k? Did you talk about that?
Yep, solo 401ks are basically on the same wavelength as that last sheet with the businesses. You have to, only you and the owners of the company can be in a solo 401k. You can't have any employees, no W-2 income earners.
Got it.
Other than the owners.
Awesome. Alrighty. So Bruce is saying last year was good. This year, we had a good year last year. Oh, we had a good year last year facing 6K tax bill. Any suggestions on what can be done to reduce that number or wipe it out?
Last year you had a 6K
tax bill.
Well, I mean, right off the top, I'm going to say, go put the 6,000 into your IRA. I don't know what tax bracket he's in, but if you take that 6,000 and put it into your IRA, you're going to save, let's say you're in the 30% tax bracket, you're going to be saving $1,800 of that 6,000 because it's not going to get taxed. If you can, if you have a business, it sounds like, because last year was a good year and it wasn't, of earned income, you may be able, and I can't give tax advice, right? We told you that up front, but check with your accountant and ask him those situations because he knows where you are. And maybe you want to open a SEP IRA or a simple IRA or even a 401k and offset some of that. But yeah, we'll talk, we have another webinar that talks about other strategies there. And everybody's situation is different. I don't know if you made $1 million and your tax bill is 6,000, or you made 100,000 and your tax bill is 6,000. There's always ways to do that.
Awesome. Yep, there's a way. There's a way. Awesome.
Yeah.
So Jose says, thank you for the great information, Carl. He's asking if we can still make the contribution for 2022 if we already completed taxes for 2022. Should we need to amend the taxes?
You can still make the contribution. And I would amend, see how much it is to amend the taxes versus how much you're saving, but you can still make the contributions up till the 18th.
Awesome.
Of April.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for your questions, guys. Can Bouillon, I always pronounce that one bad. Can Bouillon, you hold yourself to go? Oh gosh, this is a little bit.
No, can gold bullion, can you hold gold bullion yourself? The answer
Towards
is
the contribution. How does that work? Yes. Thank you.
say that. So can you
I know.
hold, you can't hold gold bullion yourself.
Okay.
Okay. If it's in your IRA, we have to hold it, and we hold it in a depository. And you have to make contributions in cash in IRAs.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Next, are the Roth salary limits based on pre or post tax dollars?
Are the Roth salary limits based on pre or post dollars? Well, the Roth salary limits are based on your AGI, where your AGI is there, and so whether it's a traditional or a Roth, those are the limits that are there. So it's for both, right? You have to look at the traditional limit, and the traditional, you can always put the money in, but you might not get it, even if you make $1 million, you can still put the $6,000 in. But after, whatever that number is, you're not going to be able to get a deduction. And the Roth, but you would put that money in and then convert it to a Roth, and you wouldn't have to pay the taxes on that money that you made because you already paid them.
Amazing.
So that's the smart way to do it. Don't leave it in that, basis paid taxes if it's in a traditional, because any of the money that money makes is going to be taxed. So you really need to pay attention to these rules. This is the difference, or the little difference that makes you go on the side of the wealthy versus the not so wealthy, by paying attention to the rules they make.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay, I see one more question in here. So speak now, forever. No, I'm just kidding. We'll have Carl back.
Are you getting married?
I'm not. I swear, guys. No.
Okay.
Okay. But eventually we'll see. So what about 457B retirement plan within your place of employment?
457s can be converted to IRAs and 401ks, et cetera. They can be rolled over. However, not while you're still working.
Okay.
So when you retire, you can do it. If you're still working, it's too tough.
Okay. Thank you. Good to know. All right, guys. Well, if you have any last second questions, you can go ahead and pop those in there. But I do have a winner for the raffle. Drum roll. Our winner today for 1-year membership with BPM RIA is John H. John H, congratulations. I will be in contact with you to get you your membership. So look out for an email from me today. And yeah, congratulations. One year, $295. Love that for you. Good job. Awesome. Thank you, Patrice, for the thanks, Carl. And so what are the fees for setting up the Roth? Well, now that you're asking, we did pop in our special link in here. If you want to just tell them a little bit about the special link again, Carl, that I'm popping in the chat right now.
Yeah, if you go to the BPM RIA website and you use that link to open up your account, we're going to charge you $1 for opening up your account. But you do have to fund it,
right?
Within, prior to April 15th or prior to April 18th. And you can open up as many as you want. If you have kids, like I said about that one person, if you have, kids that you can pay to work and fill out a tax return, you can start putting money into their accounts as well. So it's $1 to open that account up and, and fund it. And normally it's either 50 or 75. I don't remember what we're charging for it, but it's $1 if you open it up before the 18th of April. Nice. using the BPM RIA site. If you have a problem with that and you can't open it for some reason, or you're technically challenged, you can call our office and tell them you were on the RIA and that Carl said charge you $1, and they'll help you open up your account. But we'd really like you to try to open it from the BPM RIA.
Yes, guys, go ahead and press that link in the chat. I do have it linked on the website as well. If you press the learn more about Camaplan button, it'll direct you to the special link. I do have their regular website, contact info. And again, go to their website. They do have those downloadable resources on there. Carl's information is on the screen right now. Email, phone number is on the screen right now. Take a screenshot, take a picture. I will send you all a thank you email at the end of today's webinar, giving you this information again, so you can't miss it. What else? Oh, yes. So we did record this webinar today. It will be on our YouTube channel in the next 48 hours. So link is in the chat box for you guys to get that replay. And for anyone in here that really enjoyed Carl's information in our webinar today, please write a 5-star Google review for me. If you do that favor for me, I will do a favor for you, and I will add 1 month on your membership if you have a current membership, or I will be more than happy to give you a 1-month free trial of the BPM RIA membership. So thank you guys. 5 stars for Carl. I put the link in the chat for you guys. And like I said, I will be sending each and every one of you a thank you email. After today's webinar, it will have all my contact information, Carl's contact information, and the link to join for $1. So let us know what your questions are, and we'll see you guys on Thursday. So thank you. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you. And if they don't think it's a 5-star, put a 4-star in there and tell me what I can do to make it better.
No. No, Nish did not hear that. Nish did not.
All righty.
Oh my gosh, no, but you can reply in the email to me. Don't tell Google anything but 5-star.
All righty.
Oh my gosh, no. But thank you guys so much. You can reply off the email that I send you with any questions. And I will try to help you guys. But as Carl mentioned previously, you can book a call with them So I highly recommend you do what you need to do to get that information as soon as you can, because the clock is ticking. It is time to open your IRA. So I hope today was helpful, and we will see you on Thursday with ReFX. And Carl, I will see you on April 5th at Signature Grand in Davie. Yay.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, Lexa.
Absolutely. We appreciate you, Carl. Have a great day. Bye.